Hello everybody, I just wanted to do a quick instructional video on how I strip African cichlids. The way I strip African cichlids is not going to be very different than the way anybody else does, but I'm hoping to provide you guys with a few pointers. That way stripping your females, is not going to be as lengthy of a process. The better, or the quicker the better. The sooner you can get her back into the aquarium, the less stress it's going to be on the female. So basically, as you see here, I have a plastic Tupperware container. What I do with this container is I'll take water from the aquarium and I'll fill it up. With this container, usually it takes about maybe 4 to 5 cups full. Again, this is water right from the aquarium. Stripping them in fresh water that they're not suited to would just, obviously play hazardous to the fry and obviously to the female. Now, since I've caught the female, the first thing you're going to do is make sure your hands are wet before handling her. If your hands are not wet, what's going to happen is you're going to rub her body slime off and you're going to really leave her susceptible to disease after you put her back in her aquarium. I'm going to go ahead and grab her. And just by me gently giving her cheeks a little squeeze, she's going to probably spit about 90% of the fry on the first attempt. What I also like doing is just by keeping her mouth fully open, what she will do is when she's drawing air through her gills while she's trying to breathe, she will automatically spit some of the babies out on their own, as you can see from the video here. Then I'm just going to hold the female, let her regain her composure. It can sometimes take 2 or 3 attempts to fully strip the female. So by giving her a little bit of time here to breathe and settle down, what I will do next is I'll look into her mouth and see if she's holding anything left. If she happens to spit everything else out, basically if she spits out everything on the first attempt, what I would do is obviously throw her back into her aquarium without stressing her out any further. But what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to first look at her mouth again, look inside it, and this must be my lucky day because it looks like she has spit everything out, basically spit out all the fry on the first attempt, which is just awesome. So I'm going to put her back into her pail. I'm going to put her back into her aquarium, and I'm just going to keep an eye on her for the first couple minutes. A lot of times after stripping the female, she's going to have engulfed a lot of air, and she's going to swim funny for the first 2 to 3 minutes. Just make sure she settles in okay, and it should be no problem from there on. So now, since I've taken the female and put her back in her aquarium, you'll see that I'm left with the fry here. The fry, from what you see, they're not fully developed or free swimming. They still have their yolk sacs attached to them. So basically, with where they are in their developmental stage, I'm going to say it's going to take 7 to 14 days before they're free swimming. So in the meantime, I will be putting them into an egg tumbler. Before I put them into the egg tumbler, I'm going to adjust them with water from the tank that the egg tumbler is in. So basically, based on the size of this container, I'm going to probably introduce 1/3 to 1/2 a cup of water every 15 to 20 minutes. I'll do this probably 3 to 4 times, so it's going to take me about 45 minutes to an hour to adjust these fish properly. Again, that might be a little overkill. Some of you might adjust the fish a little quicker than that. And again, if you're keeping the egg tumbler in the tank that they came from, obviously it won't require any adjustment at all. So as you can see here, here's the next step to the process. I've taken the fry and I've put them into the egg tumbler. As you can see, it's working quite well. The amount of water flow going through the tumbler at this moment seems to be quite high. I wouldn't recommend having it any higher than this. But within the next day or so, you're going to notice that the flow rate's going to slow down as the filter screen that they're bouncing off of will start to collect debris. So I plan on keeping these guys probably in this tumbler, you know, for the next 7 to 14 days. But again, it depends on how soon or how quickly they utilize their yolk sacs. So once the yolk sacs are utilized, from there, obviously I'll be putting them into another separate holding fry tank, and the process will continue. So here we are now. This is 8 days now since I put the fry into the tumbler. You'll notice now that the fry had developed quite a bit and have become free swimming. Now because they're free swimming, you'll also notice that their yolk sacs have practically disappeared, and now it's time to supplement them with their own food to give them energy. So from what I'll do here, so let me put my camera over, is I will take the fry from the tumbler and I'll put them into my trusty adjustment cup. I really like using this. It makes the transport and acclimation process very, very simple. So the first thing I'll do is I'll take the top off the tumbler. I'll take a little bit of water from the aquarium and I'll pour the fry right into the cup. Always double check the tumbler to make sure that all the fry are now removed. And then from here, we can go on to the last process. So here we are. This is the final step in the process. The fry have now been adjusted to their own holding aquarium. It's been a couple days. I just wanted to make sure that the fry settled in okay. You'll notice also that there's a little bit of particulate floating around in the water, and what that is some decapsulized brine shrimp. I use the decapsulized brine shrimp just because it's a very good food source. It's high in protein, it's very good for the growth rate of the little fry, and basically when I was raising and selling African cichlids, the quicker I could raise them, the quicker I could sell them, the quicker I made money. So basically, my weekly maintenance routine would be every 3 days I would do a 90% water change, and then I would feed the fry maybe 2 to 3 times a day. But in the beginning, the feeding portions would be extremely small. I never ever wanted any complications with digestion. So as the fish get bigger, you can obviously increase the portions, but again, that's just something that takes time. So as you can also see, it's a 5-gallon holding aquarium. I'm not using a sponge filter. Sponge filter would probably be the best method of filtration in this process, and obviously the most convenient when it comes to cleaning. So what I'm using is just a power filter that I had sitting around, and as you can see, I've put a sponge onto the intake tube. This way it doesn't suck up or damage any of the fry in the aquarium. So basically either way works well. I've taken the water level down quite a bit, and what that does is obviously cause a waterfall effect and provides a lot of circulation throughout the aquarium. So again, we all have our own ways of doing things. These are some of the ways and methods that I've used to produce and raise African cichlids, and I hope that you can apply them to your own methods.